Hi, I'm Peter Bois,
I'm Gus Davis.
and welcome to Monday Club.
It's a super club. You're a super fan. Let's make a Super Monday Club.
Welcome to Monday Club! What is up, all you Monday maniacs out there? Thank you for joining us on episode 47 of Monday Club. I'm Peter Bois. I'm here with my sultry voice mate, Gus Davis. Welcome to Monday Club. This is Super Monday, day after Super Bowl, although you're listening to this a week later. Today, we cheers to changing your mind. Solo trailer drops. What are we reading? We talk Super Bowl. We talk Gus has to pay up on our bet. And Gus pays $700 a night for a day's in. We got to talk about that. Welcome to Monday Club. Welcome to Monday!
Cheers!
Cheers!
Super cheers!
Super cheers. I totally made that a very long intro. I'm so excited.
It's a good day. Hey, let's start off this way, my friend. It is the day after. We're recording this the day after the Super Bowl, in which the Philadelphia Eagles defeated the New England Patriots.
Boo.
And I gotta say, man, you're actually looking pretty healthy for the day after that loss. You doing okay?
I may be looking all sunshine and flowers on the outside, but inside I am depressed and crumbling under depression.
I'm sorry, man. I am. Well, look. The good news for, I think, most of America is that at least it was a good game. It was a really, really entertaining game.
Yeah, I had a decision in the third quarter. I was like, either I continue on with my fourth beer and then continue on with liquor after that until the wheels come off, or I just quietly start putting water into my cup last night. And I went with the latter. So I bailed out of the drinking, because if I kept drinking, I wouldn't have woken up today.
Yeah. I love that moment. That's you so perfectly described that moment, because there's always a moment when you're out drinking with your friends, or you're sitting around and you're having drinks, and you've had enough that you are on a nice, even drunk level, and then you're watching the big game, and it's only the third quarter, and you're like, well, I mean, I can open up a new case, but if I open up a new case, I'm gonna drink it. And that's probably not going to be smart.
Okay, today we are cheersing to changing your mind. You sent this to me, and it kind of goes hand in hand with changing my mind in the third quarter for some water. But this woman is about to jump off this pier on the water, right? There's this big pier on the water, and it's about, it's got to be 50 feet in the air, right?
Yeah, it looks like it's at least three, maybe 4 or 5 stories off of the water. I mean, it's very tall.
It's ridiculously tall. And she's about to run and jump into the water off of this humongous pier, and she changes her mind at the last second, and she tries to grab onto the railing, and she flails off the side, dangling for like a half second, and then she can't hold her weight, so she falls into the water anyway.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So not only does she change her mind, but you can see she like gets herself ready. She runs off the pier. She is about to jump, and every instinct in her body says, "Oh, hails to the no." And so she like puts on the brakes, but she's already she's past the point of no return. So she turns around, she grabs onto the railing, and look, life is not like superhero movies or video games. When you go at full momentum, it's not like you can just like Mission Impossible, just reach over with one arm and stop yourself from falling. That's not how that works in real life. So she grabs with one arm, and then that totally throws off her center of gravity, and so she just tumbles like a rag doll through the air and just smashes down into the water. There's so much that's funny about this. It's not just funny that she changes her mind at the last second, because
I think you described it perfectly. I don't think she changed her mind. I think it was her animal instincts telling her, "What the fuck are you doing? Stop this."
Let me also say this, that I've been cliff diving and rock diving and stuff like that before, and it's funny how when you look from the bottom up to where you're going to jump, you say to yourself, that doesn't look like it's that tall.
Yeah.
It's only like 20, 30 feet. That's not that bad. And I'm jumping into water. It's not that bad. I'm going to say that she is definitely past my it's not that bad if you were looking up at this pier. I mean, she's 40 or 50 feet up in the air. So, yeah, it is that bad. But you're jumping into water. You think, oh, it's going to be fine. But that's looking down from that. That is a long fall.
And she screwed herself, too, because she could have done a pencil dive and, been fine.
Right.
Nope, no issues, but she was tumbling through the air and splat into the water. Here's an early teachable moment for everybody. Everybody on Earth should be able to do at least one pull-up, because if she could have actually done one pull-up, she could have saved her life. Oh, she didn't die. She's fine.
No, I mean, we don't actually know that for a fact.
We're assuming she's fine.
We're totally assuming.
If it made it on the internet, she's fine, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though. I wouldn't want to smack my face on the water after a 50-foot fall. Because that is... That's how you get the nickname Pancake Face for the rest of your life.
A show title.
Pancake Face.
To this woman and her indecision, because it made us laugh really hard.
To Pancake Face.
Pancake Face. I'm doing something I've never done on Monday Club.
Oh, yeah?
I have never drank wine on Monday Club before.
Look at you classy bastard.
I know. Look at this. I figure, I was drinking beer during the Patriots game, so I figured if I drink something different during the next season, they'll win, right? Got to do something different to change the luck. I like the occasional glass of wine. I'm a red wine guy. I love red wine. White wine, but I love big Cabernets, but this is a Chianti. I don't even know what brand it is.
Chianti.
It's like $8 to $10 bottle at your grocery store, and it's pretty good. Not my favorite, but not my favorite wine. But I do love Chiantis. But this is a pretty good bottle.
What's it called?
The brand?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Oh, all right. Again, a cry for help. I am drinking a whole lot of orange juice with Jack Daniels just poured all up into it. So orange juice and Jack. I think I finished off my my bottle of Captain Morgan. So I had a little bit of Captain Morgan in there and started with Captain and ended with Jack in my orange juice. But it's Monday morning. It's a nice healthy pick me up.
That sounds lovely. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to our morning drinking issues on Monday Club. During the Super Bowl last night, the trailer for the new Star Wars story dropped, the Han Solo story. Did you see it yet?
I didn't. I haven't seen it yet. How excited are you, though?
What's that?
How excited are you, though?
I'm pretty excited. There's been a lot of talk about how bad this movie's going to be in rumors and media and because there's been some rewrites and reshoots and a lot of crap going on. It sounds like a Justice League piece of turd gonna happen, but they made a pretty damn good trailer.
Look, the beauty of Disney and Marvel and all of the Disney as a whole right now, the beauty of it is that they can release a turd and they'll still get $500 million easy off of this.
You know what though? I'm holding my breath. I am holding my breath because I have no expectations. I'm thinking it could be a turd. It could be amazing because they did do some reshoots and whatever on Rogue One. So, and that came out really damn good.
I didn't get to watch the Super Bowl until the second half. of the Super Bowl. I didn't make it till the second half, so I missed all the commercials that led up to that, and I missed the halftime show. Which I love the halftime shows of Super Bowls because that is like the tech work and the communication and the practice that goes into setting up a stage with lighting and sound and drapery and all of the production value that goes into it. They have 12 minutes to set an entire stage.
It's ridiculous.
That's insane that they can do all that and still knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
So, my cheers to you people who set up and run the Super Bowl halftime show. You guys are freaking amazing.
I have to say, my favorite ad of the whole night was the series of ads by Tide. They had Hooper, the guy who played the sheriff on Stranger Things, the guy who did the picture with the high school girl with the trombone, and he was in all the Tide ads, and they were hilarious. And I think they were trying to get over the whole Tide Pod challenge thing.
Right,
So they're like, let's spend a shit ton of money to make us look funny and cool and not eating
Hey,
Tide
guys!
Pods. Yeah. So I think those are my favorite ads. And I know you didn't see all of it. So, but the halftime show, you know what? I don't really care about the halftime show personally, but everyone says it's the worst halftime show every year. I mean, what do you want? They're freaking. There's lights. There's dancers.
Right.
There's somebody lip syncing and dancing. And what do you want? Justin Timberlake? He did a fine job. Okay, it's a concert.
Yeah.
It's a 10-minute concert.
It's a 10-minute concert for you to promote your new album that's dropping that year. Let's just go ahead and talk about the Super Bowl real quick, okay?
I was hoping you'd.
I mean,
miss
guys,
that
I know
bullet
that
point.
if you're listening right now, it's probably at least a week after the Super Bowl 52 has happened. If you've been listening to the show at all, you know that Pete is a huge New England Patriots fan. And the Patriots lost in the Super Bowl in a heartbreaking loss. I mean, for me personally, it was a great game. There was great sportsmanship that I saw. There was some amazing plays. There was some intrigue with did the refs make the right call on this situation or that situation. But the biggest thing for me is that for a Super Bowl, usually Super Bowls are terrible. They're usually one-sided or just boring or whatever. For me, up until the last whistle blew, the game was entertaining.
Oh yeah, till the last pass. It came down to the last play of the game, and
it did. And I'll tell you, Gronkowski touched the football. I mean, in the end zone, in a Hail Mary pass, it touched his hands with 13 guys around him trying to keep it out. I mean, he wasn't going to catch it, but that pass was a perfect pass.
Yeah.
It could have gone that way.
Yeah, it was. I agree on all your points. It was a really good game. Philly played really amazing. Patriots defense kind of sucked it up a little bit. They didn't, but I mean, Philly gave them a run for their money. Obviously, they beat them, but the Patriots defense was on the ropes the entire time. I don't know. There's this big controversy. Malcolm Butler, their star defensive player on the Patriots. He wasn't played at all. I don't know why he wasn't played. He must have pissed off Bill Belichick in practice. I don't know. And so I still don't know what's going on with that. You probably already know it's a week later. And then those questionable calls. Okay, before I discuss this for a second, the Philly won fair and square. But those questionable calls, if they were during the regular season, they would have not been the same result because they were making calls that went the opposite way from what they called during the Super Bowl. Those catches that touchdown would not have been a touchdown, and that's just the way it was during the.
I think both touchdowns.
Yeah,
in the second half, both touchdowns that the Eagles did would not have been called touchdowns in regular season.
Yep.
And I think it was good that they used that as a platform to make the case to change the rules back to what a touchdown is, because by looking at both of those touchdowns, me as someone who's watched football since I was little, those were definitely catches. Those are definitely touchdowns. Me as looking at it as somebody who knows the rules and how they've changed was like, I can see why they're questionable. But look, man, if you're playing out in the street and someone throws you something and you catch it and you hang on to it and you fall down and you held on to it, hey, you caught it. Good job.
Yeah.
But that's not the case in football anymore with the current rules, and I guarantee you they're going to change those rules.
Yeah, I agree, but it just sucks that they decided not to call them that way. For this year, the correct way would have not to been those touchdowns would not have happened if they were
I agree with
following
you. And I
the
agree
rule
with
book.
you. But I also think that in the spirit of the Super Bowl and also with what I guarantee you will happen in the rule changes, those were definitely catches and those are definitely touchdowns. Also, to be fair, calls have gone either way for the Patriots as well throughout the season. So, I mean, it sort of did kind of bounce karmically the world, I think.
Yeah, I disagree. I'm not begrudging the calls. I just, it is what it is. I thought they were touchdowns personally, but if you had to follow the rules, you can't really call those touchdowns because you haven't been calling them touchdowns all season. So that's
and I concede that point. I also want to say kudos to my co-host here, Mr. Peter Bois, that as soon as the game was over, he said it all season that if you want to have the Patriots fans shut up, even if they love them as much as Pete does, just beat them on the field. And when the game was over, I saw that you tweeted out, "Hey Eagles, congratulations! That was one hell of a game." And I thought that was very big of you, sir.
Well, thank you. I like to be a sportsman. It is a game. It's not like world hunger we're fighting for here, but
right.
So it was a really good game. Congrats, Philly! You beat us. You beat the big boys. But guess what? Tom Brady's got 5 more years left in him? He can play till he's 45, so
yeah.
This is sad. This is the last time I get to hear this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Prepare yourself for the Dirty Little Football Quiz.
All right, guys. So, even though this episode we've talked a lot about football since the big Super Bowl game just finished for us while we're recording, we know that a lot of you don't come here for sports ball, and if this segment has gotten annoying for you, don't worry. There's no more football. We'll talk about the erotic fiction and Winter Olympics next time. It'll be great. But we do want to support Pete and his undying love of the New England Patriots, who came so close to winning the big dance this year. So we realized that a lot of the same words that are used in football are the same terminology that is used in erotic fiction. I'm going to read a quote or 3 quotes to Pete. His job is to identify the football term in the quote to take 2. I'm going to read 3 quotes, 3 erotic fiction quotes for Pete. His job is to identify the football term used in the quote, to define that football term, and then to replace the football term with the word in the erotic sentence. If you can do that 2 out of 3 times, I'm going to buy one of you lovely people in Monday Club Land a free drink from us here. So, Pete, you ready to play?
I am ready to go.
All right, man. Well, then here we go. Here is your first erotic sentence. Good luck.
All right.
I'm not some trophy wife for you to parade around in front of your clients and then be left lonely in this giant house.
Trophy.
Trophy is correct. Woo! Good job. Define it.
Trophy is the prize you get for winning.
Sure, as it pertains to the Super Bowl.
Lombardi Trophy.
The Lombardi Trophy is correct. So here's what we were going for. I'll give you a ding for that. Good job.
Ding me.
So here's what we're going for. The Vince Lombardi Trophy is the trophy that the team that wins the Super Bowl receives. It's named after famed head coach of the Green Bay Packers, Vince Lombardi, who led the Packers to win the first 2 Super Bowls. So congrats, man. Can you use it in the sentence?
I am not some trophy named after Vince Lombardi for you to parade around in front of your clients and then be left lonely in this giant house.
Well done, man. Well done. There you
Hey, it's time for Stories from the Road.
So I was actually on the road this week. I did 2 shows, one in Rhode Island, one in Vermont. Nothing special happened, 2 good shows. What do you got?
It's funny when it's the busy season and you're going out and you're constantly doing shows, and it's just, it's a job, right? I mean, you're punching the clock.
Yeah.
So you go in and it's like, I wish I could say every single time I'm on the road that something fun or amazing happens, but a lot of the times it's like, I got up, I brushed my teeth, I ironed my clothes, I went and I did a great show, I got some pictures with people afterwards, I ordered a pizza, I went back to my hotel, I watched Stranger Things on Netflix, then I went to bed. That's pretty much your day, right?
Yep, that's pretty much how it works.
All right, so I'm going to finish part 2 of my story. So I flew into Minnesota, and I went through all the hell of flying into Minnesota on Super Bowl weekend, where I flew in, and when my flight in there, I was flying in out of Austin at like 5 something in the morning, and when I was flying out of our connecting place, which I think was Charlotte, to Minnesota, the entire plane was Eagles fans, and what I would like to have been doing is sleeping since I got up at 3:30 in the morning. What I actually did was listen to people just chant "Go Eagles" for 2 hours on the airplane. So it was freaking awful.
I'm so glad I did not have that show.
Oh my God, yeah. Landed, went through all the pain that I told you guys about finding the hotel. I did, however, I landed, I drove directly from the airport. I drove the 30 miles to the hotel and checked into that Motel 6. This is a bonus teachable moment. I checked in because I wasn't going to be getting back to that hotel till around 11 or 12. And I knew in my heart of hearts that if I hadn't checked in by 11 or 12, that they would have sold my room, and then I would have been just completely SOL because there would be no place that I could have a room. So, bonus teachable moment, if you're in that situation ever, check into your rooms. Hotels and airplanes are totally shady about that, so check in as early as you can if you have the means to do so that you don't get totally screwed, because they'll just look you right in the face and be like, hey, I know you have a reservation, but man, we oversold this room, so sorry, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Then you go sleep on the lobby couch.
Yep. So I checked into my hotel, turned right around, didn't even bring any luggage. I just got my key, and then drove another, I would say 30 minutes to my show. But because it was sleeting and icing and the roads were completely covered in ice and snow, it took me about an hour to drive from my hotel to the venue that I was performing at. And I touched down in Austin at about 11:30. Pause. My grandmother has gotten me Shannon, myself, my mom, and her season tickets to the opera. So we go to the opera 3 or 4 times a year with my grandmother. It's one of those things that she just loves being able to take us to. She likes the theater, the culture, and all that stuff. So it was opera day. Super Bowl Sunday was when a damn opera was happening. My mom is sick with the flu, and so Shannon stayed with Bryce, and so it was just my grandmother and I going to the opera, and I just couldn't tell my 91-year-old grandmother, hey, I'm sorry, Grandma, I can't take you to the opera, it's the Super Bowl. So I drove directly from the airport to my house, changed into opera-going clothes, went and picked up my grandmother. Some friends of mine in Austin, I asked them if they wanted to come to the opera with us since we had 2 extra tickets in our little reserved seats area, and they were like, cool. So met my friends at the opera, and we watched the opera from 2:30 till about 5:15. Then I drove and dropped my grandmother off. Then I came home, and Bryce had pulled out all of his Nerf guns and wanted to play Nerf guns. And I was like, screw it. Yeah, whatever. I got 2 hours of sleep and the Super Bowl already started. I don't care. Let's do this. So played Nerf guns with Bryce and then helped Shannon. She was working on some paperwork stuff. Helped her do that. And when all that was done, finally got to turn on the Super Bowl and watch the second half and kick it with a beer and have Shannon and Bryce there and watch the Super Bowl. So that was my Super Bowl Sunday. And I'll tell you what, dude, as soon as that show was over, I went straight to bed.
Do not pass go. Go
do not
straight
pass
to
go.
bed.
Do not take shower.
You
just
are a good
pass
man.
out.
Taking your grandma to the opera on Super Bowl Sunday after getting off a plane. Holy cow.
Look,
we have Saint
I'm
Gus
just-
here on Monday Club. I hope everyone has a fantastic Monday, and go Patriots. Super Bowl next year. Thank you guys so much for being part of the club. We love you all. Please check us out, MondayClubPodcast.com, Facebook.com/Monday Club Podcast, Twitter @MondayClubPod, Instagram @MondayClubPodcast, email MondayClubPodcast@gmail.com. Thank you so much to James Caldwell, our sound engineer, and Zach Holder for this lovely music. Go out and be awesome this Monday.
And don't pancake face yourself.